Hello, and welcome to reCappin with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at reCappin Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
We're going to go back to 2003. What were you doing that year?
I was in school. I was still living in my mother's home.
Same.
I don't think I was driving yet. Nope. So I wasn't probably doing too much of nothing, honestly. I was minding my childhood business, oblivious to a lot of things. Living my best life at the time, I'm sure.
Same. We're going to talk about Bringing Down the House. This is an hour and 45-minute movie rated PG-13. It is a comedy released March 7, 2003. Here's the quick summary. Lawyer Peter Sanderson wants to dive back into dating after his divorce and has a hard time meeting the right women. But he lucks out with online dating and meets a fellow lawyer. The two agree to meet in the flesh, and the woman he meets, an escaped African-American convict named Charlene, is not what he expected. Peter is freaked out, but Charlene convinces him to take her case and prove her innocence. And along the way, they learn to become friends. Here's the cast. Queen Latifah, Charlene Morton, Steve Martin, Peter Sanderson, Eugene Levy, Howie, Jane Smart, Kate. And this movie was directed and written by Adam Shankman. Mind you, Adam Shankman has some real bops in his repertoire, I should say. He did my favorite, Hairspray, that adaptation, and A Walk to Remember.
Yep.
And The Freaking Wedding Planner. So, yeah.
He did Hocus Pocus too.
Yep.
Step Up.
17
Step Up,
the
again.
First one. So, I really enjoyed his movies. But the thing about him is, it seems like he has a mixture of hits and
Disenchanted. That's one we recapped as well.
We did. So, yeah. So, Rotten Tomatoes, this movie was bad, according to them. 33% from the critics, 49% from the audience. Google users gave this movie 73%. Ashley, what's your grade for Bringing Down the House?
Okay. So I may have seen this film once before, and while it has a who's who of fantastic comedic talent, I love Steve Martin. I love Queen Latifah. I love Betty White. I mean, hell, Eugene Levy, come on. Gene Smart, come on. I have to say that I did not remember just how offensive this film actually was, especially looking at it in the state of our world in America, particularly today. And I just have to say, looking at the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, I have to agree with the critics' consensus, which essentially is what I'm saying, that though the cast shines, they can't save this comedy, which is overly contrived and filled with outdated and offensive racial jokes. And being a Black person watching Queen Latifah in this specifically was very painful for me. So there you go. That's what I got. I'm going to have to give this C minus D territory.
Okay. So growing up, we loved Bringing Down the House. Like we watched it. I think we owned it because it was so outrageously ridiculous, which made it funny. Like, I will say at that time I was very into the crude humor of like Adam Sandler and Family Guy and everything like that. Just things again to be at that time and to like be able to be removed from it. It's like, oh my goodness, this is a lot of offensive stuff. You know what I mean? So
Back then,
I,
we would have thought we're past this. Like, oh, who cares?
yeah, right.
We've come so far.
We've
That's
come so
what we were
far.
thinking in
Ha ha
2003.
ha. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. But when I suggested it, I was like, oh yeah, I love this movie. And then I rewatched it and I was like, oh my God. Oh my gosh. And to your point, I feel like today's tensions definitely highlighted. And one of the things that I always think is interesting when we do these podcasts, when you start digging into it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is written by two white men.
Yep.
Why did I think this was okay?
Yep.
I still, speaking to the performances, I do feel like we have a very ambitious Queen Latifah. I think this is like one of her earlier movie roles where she is officially like doing her thing, like you know what I mean, finding her stride. And to be linked up with legendary Steve Martin, it seemed like a great opportunity. But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I think for social reasons, I would give it a C, but I still was cackling. So I did think some parts were funny. So, and to be fair, I usually am much grown up about it, but I feel like maybe because we watched this so much when I was younger, I am just not as removed from it as I probably would be something, some other project or something. So,
Yeah.
but it was a commercial success. Like I said, I remember a lot of talks about it. Let's get into our spoiler alert. All right, Ashley, were you in the chats growing up? We grew up in the era of AOL, chat rooms, MySpace.
Nope. I never did any of the like instant messengers. I never got on MySpace. I got on Facebook. That was the first social media I ever got on when I was a senior in high school. Other than that, I kind of stayed out the way. I didn't even have my first cell phone until I was 17, something like that. I never had a
Mm-hmm.
pager or just, I was a late adopter to technology by force as a kid. And now I'm a late adopter
Mm-hmm.
to technology by choice as an adult because, yeah, I just think it's more peaceful that way, if I'm
Yeah.
honest. So I just didn't, I was never tempted though. I didn't feel like there was anything for me. I wasn't in any rush. What was out there for me in those streets? Nothing.
You and I are actually on the same boat. We did not have AOL. My parents didn't have the patience for dial up for me to be on chat all day. Like, no.
Literally could hear the dial up as you said it.
Yes. And so I just think it's always really interesting to hear about like, people of our generation realizing like talking to people they probably shouldn't have been talking to in these chats.
Pedophiles. Bunch of pedophiles.
Peter, successful tax attorney, separated from his wife, distant from his kids because, work over everything. He's just trying to find some love, Ashley. And, he's in this lawyer chat room talking to a beautiful, long, flowing locked young lady named Charlene. And he said, he said that he has boyishly light hair for his description. I mean, this was peak catfish time. I feel like people are still getting
Hmm.
catfish, but this was
Yeah. This was
their
clearly
moment.
before the Tinder, Bumble, Hinge era of pictures being kind of your front facing over personality. With this, you had to lie, cheat, and steal, I guess, to get people to go out with you via these chat rooms and stuff like that. And you could definitely be whoever you wanted to be. I mean, you
Yeah.
can still do that with, I mean, they try to do more verification checks and stuff like that with dating apps, but you can still get away with quite a bit.
People be putting dated pictures up still though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can still get away with quite a bit. I actually started watching the film about the founder of Bumble, and I
Mm,
didn't finish it, but I was just like, it's interesting because I've never really thought about the origin stories of a lot of the dating apps and things like that, and the transition of a lot of it. You know, obviously there was Match.com and Christian Mingle and a lot of these things, but
yeah.
like the apps took it to a whole other level.
He's kicking it off with lawyer girl. She's smart. They have questions, they exchange information, they agree to, meet up for a blind date. And yeah, she was not what he expected at all. What shows
Who
up
invites a
is,
blind date to their house?
first of all, that's an excellent question. That's who
You're
does that?
asking for trouble, sir. And
Oh
you're
my goodness.
wealthy. It's not like you're just in an
Yes.
apartment that you may move out of in a year.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I love Anwar. He gives like dating advice for Black women. And
Yes.
one of the questions, and I follow him, obviously, I'm married, but I didn't date much. So I'm always interested to see like what he has to say, so I can help my girlfriends and my future daughter. Like,
I just want to interject really quick. The one video that just threw me that he did not too long ago, and I don't even follow him. It's the algorithm pushes his stuff to me. I watched one video with the one black dude who does the top four zodiac signs to do X, Y, and Z, and now every one of his videos shows up on my page. So
yes,
the algorithm
yes.
is crazy. But with all, Anwar, he did the video about the names you shouldn't date. I'm like, Anwar, who's left? Like, who is left, sir?
But he did this thing where he said one of his clients was like, "Oh, this man invited me over to his house." He was like, "I need for you to act like you're an 8 year old girl." And he's like,
Stranger
"If a
danger.
man asks you to his house and you're 8 years old, what would you say?" And he's like, "No, absolutely not. No." Because
I've been invited on a third date to somebody's house and said no. It was even the whole thing of like, come over, I'll make food, all of this. No, I still don't feel like I know you well enough to come to your house and you can put whatever you want into my food. That's
right,
okay. And
right.
never spoke to that man again.
Ooh, ooh, that's a hard no.
No, he didn't want to speak to me after that.
Oh,
Yeah. And
yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a good
I was
look.
like that, and that gave me my answer right there. Because if you're that adamant about me and this and my feelings of safety, then that's probably it's okay.
Well, she shows up straight out of jail. I'm like, y'all, there was no holds bar with where they were trying to go with this humor. Obviously, he's shocked and wants her to leave immediately. And then, but then even before that, the fact that she still managed to go in his house to show him the picture. She's like, "I'm in the picture."
You
And
didn't
it's
look
like,
close enough.
you didn't look close enough. I'm like, y'all are crazy. But I think, what's so interesting about this movie is Queen Latifah being a voluptuous Black woman is, I guess, the sticking point for most of the movie. I literally called it, "Oh, here's another round of hide the Black woman." Like, you know what I mean?
It's such a farce because again, you just got out of prison and you go to your pen pal's house and you trying to stay. Like you trying to stay at my house?
Where they do that at?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
you lucky I mean, you are truly lucky he didn't have like a gun or he wasn't like a bad guy in that
right.
way where he would have done something to you. I mean, she's got a prison, but I'm just saying.
I know. But it's important to note that she did the time, but she did not do the crime, Ashley.
So she says. I kept
So
thinking
she
like,
says.
so is this like a satire of her from like set it off, because I feel like we've
Yes.
gotten the real version, the real thug version of Queen Latifah, and now this is the little fake one.
Oh,
So,
speaking of set it off, I'd love to know your favorite Queen Latifah performance.
my favorite Queen Latifah performance. Huh. I don't know if I've ever really thought about it. I'd have to give it some thought probably to have the answer that I know I'm gonna look back on and say, yep, that was the one. But I mean, I still just think of Living Single. Like, I can't, like, that is without
Deja.
a doubt. And I told y'all, I listened to every episode of Reliving Single podcast. Like, that's just a part of my weekly life right now. And I just love those ladies. I love that cast. I love that show. So that still is currently my favorite. I'm sure there are many others that I would say if I thought about it deeper, but that's the one that's standing out.
I love it. I love Queen Latifah. She's one of my favorite actresses because of how diverse her range is.
Yeah.
And
Dana.
I mean, Queen Latifah set it off. Set it off was eye opening. I'm like, this is an actress. Like before, we only knew her for rapping, and she did a stint on Fresh Prince. But I was like, set it off. I felt that like the whole cast
That
did their
film
thing.
is so traumatizing and yet it's such a staple.
It
Like,
is. It
yeah,
is. Last holiday, which we recapped
we did.
and loved. And then I loved her in Chicago. I loved her in Girls Trip. Like I'm a fan. She's a fan. She's a fan. She's a fan. I'm a fan. I even watched freaking Joyful Noise when Kiki was her daughter and they had Dolly Parton. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. By the
so,
way, I saw the post you did on our Instagram from Jonathan Bailey saying like his dinner guest list,
yes,
and Kiki made that
yes.
list. I'm like, I'm glad that Kiki is universally recognized
For being
as
fantastic. Yes.
fantastic because she
Like her
is.
charisma is quite contagious.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
me happy too. I was like, look at that. He's from overseas. He has taste. Look at
That's how
that.
you know her baby daddy is just on the wrong side of history. Cause like
Ooh, cha.
we
Cha.
that can't just be an act. Like I know she's an actress, but
Mm-mm. That is giving insecure. All right. Well, I also got to ask you, what's your favorite Steve Martin performance?
oh my God, it's hands down Father of the Bride.
Father of the
I
Bride.
am
Father of the Bride.
obsessed with that movie
All of
to
them.
this
All of them.
day.
Same.
Obsessed.
Same. And I love all of them. Okay.
And he was right about the
Um,
hot dog buns. I just want to go down for the record and say he's absolutely right about hot dog buns.
about the number of buns to
At,
dog
like
ratio.
that could be a Subway hot take right there. That's utterly ridiculous. Okay, he was right.
Oh, and then of course we love him in Only Murders in the Building. I've kind of fell off on that show just a little bit.
Got redundant. Like the
Yeah.
cast is great, but yeah, they didn't. It didn't stay fresh enough for me
Hmm.
as a concept.
And then of course my other favorite Martin Short's in that one. But
I mean, they are a comedy duo for the books.
yes, yes, yes. Well, Charlene comes into Peter's life like a bulldozer, frankly. Like she comes in, she's big, she's loud, and I
She's
say big
black.
meaning, and she's black, right?
Did I just hear, what did the neighbor say? Did I just hear Negro?
Negro. First of all, when I saw Betty White, I immediately screamed, Betty White! And then I completely forgot that she was the racist across the street.
That hurt me deeply.
So
Beloved,
much.
beloved Betty White. But this right here, I would have made me slap an old lady.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And she's sister to one of the partners at Peter's law firm. And I'm like, why is she so much in his business and why is this reflected in his career? Like
Yeah.
I just
Hmm.
felt like this was a little bit too close to home, you know?
But she's old. She ain't got nothing better to do. You know
Bored.
them neighbors who
Yeah.
would just be sitting around their house and would be looking out. I mean, the woman in the window. And Amy Adams was young. You know
She
what I'm
was young.
saying?
Yeah.
So we know them like we know them neighbors. We know those neighbors.
Yeah. So Peter is really focused on getting this account with Miss Arnaz. She is a Nepo baby, but she got a lot of money and the firm wants their hands on it, frankly.
Mrs.
Um,
Wilson from Dennis the Menace,
yes,
the film.
yes. He ultimately beats out the young, arrogant guy of the law firm. And it was kind of funny when he first met her. She was like, "Oh, I was looking for someone who's around my age." And he was just like, "What?" Oh, that tickled me. But he, I remember he was one of the first people that I was like, "Oh, he must be prematurely gray
Yeah,
then."
absolutely. Yes, he is. Yeah, he
Um,
grades super young.
so young.
But kudos to him that
Um,
he didn't fake it. Like
he did
he being
not.
an entertainment, it was not like I'm gonna dye my hair. No.
It became his signature,
Yeah.
which is, fire. And now to think he's actually in his 80s, like
Still doing it though.
still doing it. So Peter is literally giving up a trip to Hawaii with his kids to get this account for the firm.
Not just giving it up. Acts like it's no big deal when he comes by that, yeah, y'all, we ain't going to Hawaii, but we can go down the street. You know what I'm
To the
saying?
pool. Like,
Like you are the
this is where
epitome of
you realize
disappointment,
that
sir.
his priorities were shot.
Not even just that, like you are not taking your children's feelings into consideration even with the way you do it.
Yes,
At least on Liar Liar, I felt Jim Carrey had some level of remorse with the way he did his little son.
that's
Like
true. He
he
felt
couldn't
bad
make
about
it.
it.
He felt bad.
Yeah.
He shows up. He's clowning because he knows he's in the doghouse. Steve Martin walked in like it was another Tuesday.
Oh, well, listen.
No
And
big
Kate,
deal.
Kate, his ex-wife, was like, "Oh, of course. Of course. And you are going to be the one to tell the kids this time. I won't be responsible for that."
And let these damn kids grow up and they talking about in therapy, let's talk about my mama. Cause my mama didn't do X, Y, and Z knowing good damn well your daddy was the POA. But he wasn't in the
Crazy.
house. So
He was
y'all aren't as
not.
mad as him at him as you were with your mother. Ooh, kids.
But Kate is out here dating his former caddy, which had me cackling. I was like, this movie has no bounds.
Yeah.
Granted, he was
Good for
very
her.
handsome. So I was like, good for you, sis.
I've watched Hacks for so long now that I forgot what Gene Smart used to look like. Like I forgot what Gene Smart young looked like. So it was
Really,
like,
like,
oh, I forgot.
yeah,
You've been in
she's
this business for a
pretty.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she's still pretty. It's just like now it's like as if this version of her is the only version of her that's ever existed for me, you know? Versus you look back,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's been doing this thing for a long time.
Yeah, that's a great point. Charlene won't give up. She is insistent that Peter helps her out. She meets him at the country club, and he, of course, is going to meet Mrs. Arnaz and doesn't want, again, it's like, even if she wasn't a convicted felon, right? I feel like he would have felt uncomfortable with her being in his space in general. Did you get that vibe?
1,000%. I don't think he knows any black people. a
A
thousand
black
percent.
talking to me.
Like, I don't think he is like his neighbor, but I definitely don't think
No,
he is used to socialization with black
with
people.
black people. Yeah. And because of that, they came up with this lie and he called her his nanny. So, Ashley, let's evaluate the different characters that Queen Latifah was in this movie as he pretended not to really truly know her. She was the church lady, she was the nanny, and she was the help. This really does play into the black woman archetypes that we talk about in media, especially from number one on the call sheet. It's
Mhm.
like, and we were missing Queen. We talked about that. Like, I felt like she could have spoken to it, but unfortunately, she had to play those tropes of, the mammy, so to speak, right? Like, because it's either the vixen, the sexual deviant black woman who's going to steal your man, the mammy who is going to take care of you and your kids and cook you a good meal. And there's a third one that I'm trying to remember. But in any case, I was just like, y'all didn't even try. Like, I think that's what it is about this humor from 2003. And a lot of the films, frankly, like I mentioned, a lot of Adam Sandler's, a lot of Will Ferrell movies, they didn't even try. They were very blatant with it. But again, I think there was a societal norm where it was like, oh, we're past this, we can laugh at it because it's ridiculous, versus like, oh, were y'all laughing at us and not with us?
I think with this too, even her regular character, when she's able to be herself, feels like such a trope because you have this created by non-black people and you're trying to say what some type of black dialect is that she will be speaking in and all these
Yo,
things that I just
who
don't.
talks like this?
Yeah, I just don't. It's
Exactly.
very cringy um in the lens of today to see Queen Latifah as this character even without all the additional layers of nonsense that she was put through. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I wonder what she thinks when she looks back at this role.
Yes. No, I'm so glad that you say that, because it's like, even though, again, one of the funniest parts in the movie, because I think I laugh at it because of how ridiculous it is. It's like, I'm throwing all the cool points out the window because you got me caught up in the game. Like,
You got me
what?
straight tripping, boo,
You
and da
got
da
me
da da
straight tripping.
da.
And she was like, that was the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. Like, what? Oh, and the
Yeah.
welfare queen is the other trope. Black women tend to be in the broad strokes of media. So
Yep. And it's not about respectability politics
it's
for
not.
me because there are plenty of examples that I could look at of, us not necessarily being respectable, but this coming from non-black creatives just does not sit well with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She managed to get in his house. So she found herself a place to stay. And he has agreed to look into her case. And she really does watch his children, though, which had me cracking up. Like, she got the boy reading Playgirl magazine or whatever that version is. And she was like, you just got to give him something he's interested in. And then with the young girl, again, coming off as sweet, innocent, out here lying about who her boyfriend is, getting caught up in the house parties.
Girl, she was sneaky. How you got a whole faux boyfriend
That I
that you
was like,
bring to the family?
this required thought.
No,
Okay.
seriously.
Like, I was so surprised by that.
It's also funny that that's the girl from Halloween Town. That's what
It
I kept
is.
thinking.
Yes.
'Tis the season too. Happy
Yes.
October.
We are here, October. And, the kids starting to love her. And honestly, Peter started to appreciate her as well. They decided to go out and they were dancing and everything. What I find to be funny, Ashley, is that I had the epiphany that Charlene was Peter's magical Negro.
Mm-hmm.
The catalyst that was needed to get him out of his shell, to wake up, smell the roses. I asked that because did you ever think there was any chemistry between the two of them?
What type of chemistry?
I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, they slightly alluded to romantic because at that same dance, Kate and Ashley First of all, Ashley was crazy in this movie.
Yes, she is.
She was ridiculous. And honestly, that fight that they had at the country club was ridiculous, but also really funny because she was like, I do Tybo. And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard about Tybo in so long.
What's good, Billy Blanks?
But
Um,
it was satisfying when Queen won. I
well,
was
that
like,
was the thing. As I was watching, I was like, this is taking too long. Like,
yes.
go ahead and knock her out. Let's stop playing these games. Yeah, I can't say I ever felt chemistry necessarily in terms of like romance, but I will say that I think that they had just some fun moments together. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like from comedian to comedian, I think there was
Yeah.
some magic with that.
I thought so too. I thought it was hilarious where she's like, you're coming out of your shell. And then, of course, Betty White's character comes in and asking all the types of questions. Again, it's like, why are you in my business?
She ain't got nothing else to do.
And of course, that gets him in some heat at work. Again, I'm like, y'all are too into each other's lives for me. So he's really wanting to nail this deal with Mrs. Arnaz and invites her over to dinner. And this is where it was wildly inappropriate, but I remember laughing so hard because this woman talks about being raised in the South, Ivy not getting paid, telling Queen how she should be serving her, and talking about a song her Ivy used to sing is Masters gonna sell us tomorrow.
Mm-mm.
A mess.
When she started singing it like it was truly an old Negro spiritual too,
Yes.
I was like, yo, uh, throw this film away. Cause I'm about to crawl through this TV. Like Queen
Oh,
Latifah in the kitchen tearing ish up is how I felt sitting on my couch. I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
oh my gosh. Even the kids understood how wild that whole situation was. I still find it to be so funny. I don't know why. It's wildly inappropriate. And I think that's why it's like, this is crazy. Y'all are insane for this.
I mean, there are some things that are so just disgusting that they are funny. Absolutely. Because you can't do nothing but laugh.
I think that's what it is, Ashley. But of course, it comes out in this video that Charlene was an escape convict. Now, I was trying to think and notice, like, did we feel like she wasn't supposed to be there? And in some ways, it kind of made sense that she wanted to stay with him. Like, you know what I mean? Versus going back to, her old stomping ground with her ex boyfriend, Widow. Who dates someone called Widow?
Why was it old dude, the husband from Diary of a Mad Black Woman, playing
He
this character?
stays, he stays being
But
trash.
I was also like, you not a thug though, sir.
He's
Like
not.
you're
No.
Charles. Quit playing with me, you know?
Yeah. And first of all, I also was annoyed with Charlene, but again, I guess they were trying to say her character is just bold and brash. Her out here having a party at this man's house, talking about I wanted to get my hair done. Who are all these people?
So
Wait,
again,
wait.
trope. We're just so disrespectful. We would
So
throw a
exactly.
whole house party at somebody's
Right.
house cutting up like this.
Exactly. My favorite Tommy Davidson quote: who are these Negroes? Okay. But yeah, this was the final straw for Peter, and Charlene has to go. Has to go. Well, she's not gone for long because Peter realized very quickly that Charlene might be up to something because Widow shows up and threatens him. And he figures if he's being threatened, he must have had something to do with her arrest all those years ago. So, the end of this movie, Peter goes to the hood and The way he's sitting in his car and these two black men are walking by. He's like, hello, fellas. Put the money in the window, Ashley. It's like, are you soliciting for drugs or sex?
The way he was dressed, I guess a lot of factors.
It's like creepy white man in the hood in his nice car, but he wanted their clothes. I'm laughing because Steve Martin's face was so funny to me. Oh, and any black person would know to run immediately. Do not talk to this man. Oh my God, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know why it tickles me so much. But this man dresses up and goes into this club and he's out here dancing like you got served. And then the other part that also had me cackling is when Widow summons him to the back. He's like, you look all kinds of stupid. And he was like, oh, really? I got this outfit from your mama. Oh, this movie. And of course, Eugene's character saves Queen Latifah. They get Miss Arnaz. They're all up in this club. Steve Martin gets the confession that it was Widow all along. It was him that dressed up in that wig and put it on her. And he got it on tape. At the end of the movie, Peter decides to leave his firm and go on his own. There's a sense of reconciliation when it comes to him and Kate. And I think Eugene is going to be called White Chocolate soon because I think him and Charlene was going to figure some things out.
Seemed like it.
We kind of talked about this already, but do you feel like this film has any type of legacy 20 years later?
Probably some mixture of shame and guilt on the part of some of the people involved. Obviously, again, it is something that was entertaining for the time, and that is what it is. I mean, we've had this with multiple TBTs. It's just different when
Yeah.
you look back at it through a different lens over time. So it is what it is. I mean, again, you had comedians doing their thing. It's just rough. It's a rough storyline. It's a rough adaptation of whatever this is supposed to be. And I'm being
Yeah.
kind. So
It's giving like, look who's coming to dinner, like, oh my goodness, there's a black person. I think
yeah,
the other piece
it's
that I think
if I
is
had
worth
this on
mentioning.
DVD, I'd have to chuck it. That's where I'm at.
No, I feel you. Class also plays a role as well. I feel like it's hard to talk about class because at the end of the day, I think it is mainly black and white. And the reason why I say that is because based off how things have been done in this world, especially in America, there's all the, automatic assumptions to like black people and their social like economic background. But I will say that this film did highlight Charlene as an intelligent person. They just made her different because I think they were so busy trying to make Peter so waspy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in terms of legacy, from my perspective, I don't think it really has much. Like, I feel like you've seen it if you've seen it, but it's not like one of those films that we've done. Just thinking about even more recently, the anime Howl's Moving Castle, like that actually has legacy. That actually has legs when it comes to how people receive it in the past and even today,
Hmm.
and it's overall favorable versus, because I mean, we even talked about The Devil Wears Prada and how it did not, some parts didn't pass today's lens tests. But yeah, this one was absolutely not great that way. But I don't know. I think if anything, I laugh at it through nostalgic eyes, but not so much today's.
Yep.
Ashley, do you have any final thoughts on bringing down the house?
Nope. I think I've said my piece. I'm glad that everybody involved went on to do other projects that
Yes.
I think will hold up much better through the test of time.
I just think it's interesting, again, since we talked about number one on the call sheet and how that film was divided by, Black men and Black women, how there wasn't much that Black women could speak to because of how behind Hollywood is when it comes to leading Black women roles. And even Viola talking about having to take roles and the help and things like that. I would have loved to have had like Queen Latifah there talking about like some of the roles that she's taken, getting her overall perspective, because I think, sometimes artists are faced with like, I think I'm just going to take it, you know what I mean, to get the exposure, to get the check, to get, to be able to collaborate with these people. And then I can do something better. Like, you know what I mean? I think she's
Hmm.
definitely done that. But to be fair, I just think it just didn't date well at the end of the day.
Yep.
So, all right, Ashley, do you have any hidden gems?
I do. I have two for this week. The first one I binged really quickly. It is a period piece called House of Guinness on Netflix. It is a series that is fictional but based on allegedly true stories about this family, the Guinness beer family, right? So it started with the matriarch of the family, he dies, and his four children are left to kind of figure some things out and hold up the family legacy. So it's like, gives you some vibes of other successful family shows like Succession and things like that, and all the debauchery that comes with that level of excess and ambition, and set that back in like the 1800s, Ireland, and see what happens. So it's one to watch. It's one I thought was interesting, and it is on Netflix. My second hidden gem, also on Netflix, is a tough watch. It is the Katrina docuseries, Come Hell and High Water. I watched it with my hairdresser. I did not finish the third episode because I
Is
had to go
this
under the dryer.
Ryan Coogler's one?
I don't know if Ryan did. I know Spike Lee was a producer on it for sure. But this is three parts and it's on Netflix at the moment. And it's difficult to watch for many reasons, but also very illuminating, which is why I'm recommending it. I can't say that at the time, because Katrina was back in 2005, that I really understood what had happened until I saw this docuseries, specifically around even the flooding and how that happens, and then the government's response and all these things, and to hear it directly from the people who were there, to hear like to see the videos that they did leading up to Katrina, during, after, to see the dead bodies, y'all. Like it's a lot, but it's also very important to understand that history and understand what happened, and for these people to be able to have a voice to tell their own story. So
Mm.
I thought it was impactful and important to view. And so that's my second hidden gem, Katrina, Come Hell and High Water. What are your hidden gems this week, Delora?
And really quick, that Ryan Coogler documentary is called Hurricane Katrina Race Against Time. That came out this year. And I think it's like with
So did this. This came out in August.
mm, well, it's the 20th anniversary, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Um, I have musical hidden gems this week. These songs have been on heavy rotation and they bring me so much joy. So the first song is So Easy to Fall in Love by Olivia Dean. Olivia Dean just came out with her sophomore album and I am loving it. She is just easy breezy, cool girl, British girl, and it's giving vibes like fall vibes, and I love it. So easy. Oh, just makes me so happy. She has this lyric in the chorus that says, I'm like a Saturday night and the rest of your life. I'm just so easy to love. And I'm like, I love that. Second, my girl, Raye. Where is my husband? She just released the single and announced her tour. I am happy to announce that I am going to see her next year. I am going to see her in Arizona. I've never been, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
This song, Where's My Husband, is such a hit, and I am obsessed with this portion of the song. It goes like, I would like a ring, I would like a ring, I would like a diamond ring on my wedding finger. I would like a big and shiny diamond that I could wave around and talk about it. Like, it is so fast. It is so clever. It is musically satisfying. The video is gorgeous. Her singing is gorgeous. I cannot wait for this new album. And of course, her tour. So Raye is one of my faves. And this song is a banger. And it's so funny because, again, the song is like, Where's my husband? Where is he at? I'm ready to be in love. And I thankfully have a husband. And so when I was obsessed with trying to sing that portion of the song, I told my husband, I'm like, I know I have you. I just love this song because I think it's so cute. And he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, whenever you sing, where the hell is my husband? He's like, I'm over here. Like, okay, as long as we're on the same page. All right, so that's what I have this week.
Okay. Very nice. Well, guys, thank you for sticking with us for another episode. Let us know your thoughts on bringing down the house in 2025. And if you feel like it's held up or you have any additional insights that we did not share on today's episode, please share this with everybody you know. We appreciate it. We will be back with more in these pop culture streets. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.